Welcome to the third video in the iPad Essentials video series. In this video, we're going to spend some time looking at basic apps. I'm calling this Apps 101 because these are looking at some very powerful apps that you have on your iPad standard and looking at how using simple apps in a unique way can help bump up your productivity in the classroom. First of all, whenever you're using apps on your iPad, if you experience problems, whether the app is shutting down, whether it's not performing the way it should, or if it just isn't hitting the mark with what you want it to do, the very first thing you might want to do is check to see if there have been any app updates. Software developers will frequently take suggestions given by users and update their app to make it more beneficial for you. And so if you have an outdated version running, it just might not be working effectively. If you've looked for app updates and it's still not working out for you, you may just want to restart your device or force the specific app to close and see if that helps out. And going to update your iPad overall might help. If you're trying to think of how to force close an app, remember that all the apps on your iPad have the running portion down at the very bottom. So if you roll up the screen with 4 fingers and hold down the apps at the bottom, you can always shut down an app by just hitting the minus button. And that doesn't delete the app, it just shuts it down. You may find out that when you go to open it back up, it performs a little bit better for you. Okay, now let's talk about an app that is essential. I absolutely love using, not the photos and camera, but the clock app on the iPad. I think we'll start there. The clock app on your iPad actually has a really cool function. Right away, you'll notice that on the bottom, it has 4 sections: the world clock, the alarm, the stopwatch, and the timer. I'm going to start off with the world clock. This is really cool for those of you trying to teach time zones. It definitely allows you to show students with the clocks up at the top and with the map below just where day and night is occurring. You've got a nice shadow there showing the night portions and then showing different places around the world and what time they're actually experiencing. Another really cool way that I use this with my students is frequently we will have class partners found in different states of the United States. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add a clock for those partners. So for example, if I'm looking at my partner class that I have in Chicago, I can type in Chicago and it'll go ahead and give us the time for Chicago. It also, if you check it out, it gives you the temperature in Chicago, and it's really cool way to track your partners, class partners. You can go ahead and even add more. You have a series there that you can use, and if you find that your partner class isn't in a major city, you can always find the one that it's located close to, and that's a great problem-solving activity for your students. The alarm. Wow, this is really cool. This has a lot of potential for you as far as tracking your schedule. You can track your times for your maybe your specials or what time blocks you have for what classes, and it's really simple to use. You can go ahead and just click on the add button up in the top right hand corner, and you can go ahead and select what sound you want, if you want snooze to be enabled, what the name of the alarm is going to be. So maybe I have science class every day at a certain time in my classroom. Maybe I'd say it's from 11 a.m. and once I go ahead and select 11 a.m. and I could have it repeat every Monday, every Tuesday, every Sunday, whatever you want. Let's have it set up every Tuesday and every Thursday. Go back and go ahead and hit save. And now that'll go ahead and pop up on your calendar for you. So these alarms could be really helpful in the classroom. The other area I like to use with students specifically is the timer function. When we are looking at maybe a testing situation, or we're looking at stations and we want to make sure that we stay on track and stay within a certain time period, I set this to a specified time. Like if I'm doing stations and each station is 15 minutes, I can go ahead and change the sound, maybe make it a little bit different, and I can go ahead and hit start. This is what I would go ahead and have up on the projector so that students see the time going down. They're aware of how much time they have left. You'll notice they have the digital representation in the middle, and then you've got your visual in the background as well. So really cool. Don't forget, when you're done with it, it'll go off. You can go ahead and, if you're done early, hit done there as well. The last part in the clock app that I want to go over is the stopwatch. For any of us who are doing any activities where we need to, keep a time, science teachers, maybe you're playing a review game, whatever you're doing, this can be a great way to show either on the iPad itself or projecting using it projecting on the wall. You've got a great timer here. So even though this is a free app and it comes installed all ready to go, it's a really cool way to go ahead and increase the workflow in your classroom. I would recommend playing around with this app. The second, use of the iPad that is really, really recommended for you in the classroom to get into is using your camera. And whenever you're using the camera, you can think about the camera as being your window into, what's going on in the room. You can use it as a document camera and go ahead and stream what's going on in a station, showing everyone up on the projector what's happening. You can use it to just grab photos and videos as you work, and grabbing student photos of their work. These photos could be used later in a class newsletter, on your website, for your projects that are going to be coming up. And really, you're just documenting. So once these photos are taken using your camera, you can go ahead and check them out in your photo album. And this is the second part that gets really, really cool. In your photo album, you can have your photos just regular, spread throughout here, or you can go ahead and start organizing them into albums. And in the albums, you can see I have the regular camera roll, student iPad projects. I have pictures that we were using when we were doing our light energy. I have pictures in another album of student notebook pages, just so that I'm aware of what we were working on. Also have an album of a lab, pictures and photos of a lab that we were completing. Now, these photos could be used later in projects. You can pull them in. You can edit them in here. Let's say I want to go ahead and edit a picture, and I want to go ahead and pull in the editing tool. And unfortunately, while I'm using the Reflector software, it doesn't allow me to. There we go. We can edit a little bit here. I can pull in and focus just the specific part of the picture that I want. I can crop it, and I can also enhance it. You can rotate it. You can go ahead and save it for later. But this is where you'll see you have some potential with taking the photos that you have and working with them. And these are just video clips as we were working, we were talking. These video clips can be used later on to review, or maybe for the student that wasn't there, you can go ahead and play the video for them. So this is actually a video that's not, you can't hear it right now. But these are the areas where you can go ahead and work. Now let me show you how to create an album really quick. While you're in the album section, you just hit the plus in the top left-hand corner. As soon as you hit plus, it asks you to title your album. So I'm going to just go ahead and title this Test Questions. And this is another way you can go ahead and use your iPad albums, is pull together some questions that maybe just take a snapshot of some from a website, maybe take pictures from a pre-existing document that you already have. But this way you can stream to your big screen so that everyone can see them. So maybe one of my test questions will be surrounding, what are these images? What do these images have in common? So I just pulled 3 images from my camera roll, and you can see them in there, so it's really, really easy to use. Another way I use my photo albums is sometimes I use them in a slideshow format where we will be working in groups and I'll have photos in the background just streaming to the board, and students can, while they're working, if they are waiting for me to come over and work with them, they can go back and take a look up at the big screen and see what's going on. In order to enable your slideshows, you just pull all your photos that you want together into an album, and then in the top right hand corner you go to slideshows. You can choose what type of transition you want, if you want music to play in the background, and then when you hit slideshow, start slideshow, it'll go ahead and play those and they'll loop through so that students have something they're looking at in the slideshow. The photo album can be a great way to warm up class activities, cool down with some pictures that you've been working with. You can use these albums to document, like I said, labs or things that you're doing in your classroom. Even though it's it comes with the iPad standard, it's a fantastic way to utilize the device. All right, one last thing to talk about, and that is looking at your drawing app. Every iPad needs to have a drawing app on it, regardless of which one you have, and there are many out there. They range from free to drawing apps that cost well over $10. I have loaded to my students. I have a drawing app where it's absolutely free. I have other ones though too that I use. So let's go into my drawing apps here. Drawing Pad is the one that I use a lot of times. I think that's a $4.99 app. But the one that my students use is Draw Free. And both of them offer perfectly what I'm looking for. In the Draw Free app, this is really, really easy to use. In order to create a new picture, you just go ahead and hit the plus. And I like this app because it allows you to go ahead and have a variety of paints, colors, a variety of pencil colors, crayon colors. You can paint the entire background a specific color, and really, really easy to use. You can erase everything at once. But what I really, really like is the fact that you can pull in pictures from your photo library. So pulling a picture from your photos could mean that you take something that you did in class, you pull it in, and now you have a whiteboard to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and take out this yellow background that I threw in there. Let me just erase everything. There we go. And now I have this photo that I can work with. And so I can label it, I can draw within it, we can talk about the convection currents that are occurring inside and how warmer water is rising and cooler water is sinking. But this is fantastic to be able to draw over top of photos. You can use this app to, use math, using color in your math problems. You can highlight words and highlight sentence structure. So every iPad should have some sort of drawing app, whether it is the Draw Free like I have here, or if it's one that you spend more money on, making sure that the app can pull in photos and can share these art projects or these drawings that you do, making sure that you can share them somehow, whether you can email them, post them somewhere, or print them out. That is key. And you'll start to recognize that little box with the arrow out as meaning you can share it. and usually the Photos button here means that you can pull some sort of photo in. So hopefully in these last 15 minutes you've gotten some ideas on how to use your photo library, ways to use a simple drawing app, and ways to possibly use your clock app, and looking at using the drawing apps.